Hi guys, it's Kamala Devi Sharma, life coach and business consultant. So today we're talking with Jane, and Jane says, "Dear Kamala Devi, I'm very happy to connect with you. Your videos and messages have really inspired me to get past a lot of issues in my life. However, one thing remains a trouble for me. I'm 33 years old and my parents are worried that I'm not getting married. This personally does not bother me. However, the number of years they have remaining are few. There are a few persons that are interested in me, but none of them are to my liking. One is even a lover of snakes, but I hate snakes. I am just looking for guidance on what I can do to attract my Tarzan and live happily ever after. Please help me. Thank you. Regards, Jane." So Jane, in reading your story, two things jump out to me. Firstly, you're looking for Tarzan, but Tarzan has already showed up in your life. You cannot see Tarzan because the way he showed up is not aligned with your expectations. So what I will say to you is just elaborate on what you mean by you want to attract your Tarzan. Who is Tarzan for you? What kind of life should Tarzan be living? What kind of person should he be? And how would you like him to treat you? Just get a little clear on that, because you see, when we associate ourselves with a story that was once told, then aspects of that story will show up in our lives, but we may not be aware of it. And we will not be aware of it because that is not what we desire from the story. So you got to get clear on which aspect of Tarzan do you really want to show up in your life, because the way he came to you is through a lover of snakes, and you hate snakes. Tarzan was actually a jungle lover, and he was exposed to snakes and all these different wildlife, right? So just get clear on that so that you can really attract the kind of person that you want. And don't associate him with the name Tarzan, because he may come again in a form that you don't desire. So just be very clear on the kind of guy that you want to be with, you want to spend the rest of your life with, the kind of feelings you want to have with him, so that he can come to you in that form, right? And two, I noticed that you're saying that your parents are worried that you're not getting married, and you don't care about that, but you are concerned that the number of years they have remaining are few. So this kind of pressure that you're facing, I completely understand it, but this pressure on the outside is going to create pressure on the inside. And if the pressure on the inside builds up, you can explode. So what I will say to you is get emotionally intelligent and work on your mindset. Get in control of who you really are so that you can deal with these kind of pressures. And you see, if you're someone that's sensitive to the image that you create of yourself, then when you explode because you're not able to deal with the pressure, then that in itself will be another emotional roller coaster for you to ride. So just work on your throat chakra so that you can communicate freely and easily with your parents on the things that you really desire. So there are two things that you have to do. Just really get clear on the kind of person that you want to attract, the kind of person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and communicate that to your parents so that even they can assist you in attracting such a person. And someone once asked me, actually they said to me that everyone that they have met in their life have been introduced to them through someone else. They have not attracted anyone on their own. Is there something that you're doing wrong? And I smiled at that, and I asked them, if a guy comes to you and starts pursuing you, if he starts telling you all these great things about who you are and how much he loves you and those kind of things, will you feel that level of trust for him that you would feel if someone was introduced to you by someone you know? Would you feel connected to him the way in which you would feel connected to someone who was introduced to you by someone you know? No, you would actually think this guy is coming here to fool you. Isn't that so? That's the first reaction you may have, especially if you're insecure or if you grow very reserved, right? So sometimes we really do want things in our life, but we're not really clear on them, and we don't understand the way in which they come to us because we're not working on ourselves at a subconscious level. And I see this happening with many persons, that they're attracting things in their life, but because whatever they're attracting is not aligned with their expectations, they're not able to see. Because we have everything that we desire, we have everything that we want in our life, we have everything that we're working on attracting. It's already showing up, and it has already showed up, but we're not able to recognize it because it isn't showing up in the way in which we're looking for it. It isn't showing up in the way that we expect it to show up, right? So what do you do in such an instance? You try to reduce your expectations and just allow life to happen. Allow it to happen in whichever way that will be of your highest good, right? And you see this thing with relationships, let me tell you. Relationships are great. There's so much that you can get out of it. But if you're going to get married just to have kids and fulfill people's expectations, think about it again. Because this is your life. You're committing your entire life to someone. And recently, I have been dealing with a lot of relationship conflicts, and it's popping up because people are not aligning with each other in vision. They're not aligning with each other in their mindset. So whatever karmic baggage they both have and they have to work through, they're not able to do it at a level of mindset that will foster their growth. You know, just the other day, someone came to me and said to me that the very old couple, and the woman wants to, she was at a point in her life where she wants to explore her inner world. She wants to go meditate. She wants to go sit at ashrams and just be there. Now, the man doesn't see the point in that. He's saying that he has worked his entire life to provide her with so much of comforts. The kids are already well off. They're taken care of. And now is the time for the two of them to go and explore the world. Now is the time for them to go on trips and resorts and cruises and have fun. But she doesn't choose to have fun in that way. Her thing is to work on herself. His thing is for them to go out and explore. How did this stop aligning in vision? Let me tell you how. When she was stuck at home, looking after the kids, doing all of the physical stuff, he was out there making money. His growth has always continued. He went out there, he saw new things, he explored new things, he grew mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Now when she's home, stretched thin, doing all these physical stuff, she only knows four walls. She has grown so accustomed and reserved to four walls that now she's just willing to turn in and keep turning in. The outside life no longer appeals to her, but the outside life he has known all of his life, and now he's ready to take her because they don't have any responsibility towards their kids. So his mindset and his growth is way different from hers now. And now this is where the conflict is coming in. They're not able to strike a balance. What would you do in such an instance? You see, this is why it's so important that when we are in relationships, we should be able to facilitate each other's growth at a fair pace. We have to be able to elevate. When he's out there, he's working, he's having fun, he's having time for himself. At some point, he should be able to recognize that she too needs to be able to elevate. She too needs to work on herself to grow mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, so that she too can move in alignment with him. She too can grow at a pace that fosters his growth and not be imbalanced at such an extent that their interests are completely different. They're no longer seeing each other eye to eye, and the solution is to go separate ways. Do you see where it goes? So whenever you're starting a relationship, work on that relationship with yourself. Start that love relationship with yourself so that you know when you're attracting someone in your life, you know exactly the kind of person you're attracting. You know if they're aligning with your vision, if they're aligning with your mindset. Because when you're bringing people into your life, you're bringing their mindset and their karma into your life. If you're not emotionally intelligent, if you're not in control of who you are, if you don't know your subconscious programming, then you wouldn't be able to read into that other person's thinking and way they're behaving with you. You know, you wouldn't be able to tap into who they really are to see if you are aligned in mindset and if you can grow with each other through the rest of days of your lives. Because you know, some people sit there, especially women, they sit there and take the abuse. They sit there and know that they're not in alignment with each other, and they just allow the man to grow. They allow that superior inferior struggle in their relationship to expand and grow, and it comes to the point where the woman is so beaten and floored that she doesn't have a sense of her self-worth anymore. She doesn't know herself. She's committed her entire life to living for her children, to living for her family, and when their interests grow so different and there's so much of distance between them, they experience conflicts. They start to quarrel, they start to accuse each other, all sort of crazy things happen. So you got to know who you're connecting with. You got to know who you're getting involved with. You got to know who you're bringing into your personal space, because it's not just that person and who they are in society. It's not just the image that they're portraying. It's their mindset, the way in which they're thinking, and what is contributing to their behavior, and their karma. Because when you start working through your negative karma, you will have a very large appreciation for yourself and your self-worth. So when you're bringing people into your life, you wouldn't want to be working through anyone else's negative karma, because you already know the kind of time and energy it takes to work through your own, right? So this is why I will always advocate to anyone, especially women, get clear on who you are. Start that relationship with yourself. Get conscious of your subconscious so that you know exactly where your thoughts and your behaviors are coming from, and you'll be able to read into your partner's thoughts and behavior. Instead of complaining that he's not helping you out at home, you'll be able to tap into whether or not he's really tired at work, whether or not he's stressed about something and you're not able to facilitate communication. You know, you'll be able to read into him to that extent. So, but first, for you to do that, you got to know you. You got to face yourself. You got to face your good, your bad. You got to face your faults. You got to know your worth. You got to be able to work on yourself and elevate yourself in such a way that you're grounded in who you really are, and do not take everything personally to complain about it. You know who you are, and you know how you'll be able to facilitate the other person's growth, because it's a two-way street. It can never be one way, because if it's one way, then you're going to have imbalance, you're going to always have conflicts, and it will reach to a point where you will have to go your separate ways because your beliefs are totally different. So again, I would say work on yourself. Get clear so that you can get aligned with what you really want. You can get aligned with the kind of relationship you want to be in. You can get aligned with the kind of guy you want to have in your life. You can get aligned with the kind of environment you want to be creating with this person. And you can start feeling the kind of results that you know that you're looking for in your life. Right? Not only that, you have to know to yourself, what is it that you want to be working through in your life? Because, and I'll tell you why. The other day, I was dealing with an issue where a young lady, she's working on her mindset. She grew like a princess. She had everything provided for her. She's undertaking spiritual growth, and she wants to foster that. Now, she's very comfortable. She doesn't know about conflicts or anything of that sort. She's connecting with a guy who is actually not at the same level of mindset with her, who doesn't have the physical comforts that she has. Now, my question to her was, do you want to be bringing him into your space and putting your growth on pause to facilitate his growth and get him where you are? Or do you want to be attracting someone who can push you forward because they are already a little ahead of you? Which one do you want? See, the thing is, when we pause our growth to facilitate others, they may not see it that way, and you may end up getting stuck in the cycle of pain because you keep wanting to see better for them, and you keep putting yourself on hold to facilitate better for them, whereas they're grounding themselves in the ego. They're grounding themselves in that power they have over you. So then it becomes a struggle between who is better than who. who is more perfect, who is right and who is wrong. And that in itself is a complete throw off from working on your mindset. That is a totally different belief system to work through, right? So you got to really know who you are, because at the end of the day, you can't be anyone's savior. And I'm going to tell all women this. You can never be a man's savior. You cannot solve any man's issues. He has to want to solve it himself. He has to feel the need to face himself, to grow, to be a better version of himself. You cannot preach it to him. You cannot lose a sense of who you are to facilitate him, because that throws you off your path. And if you're not grounded in who you really are, if you're not emotionally intelligent, if you don't have control of your mindset, then that can take you into the material world and get you stuck there. So you cannot be any man's savior. You can't take people out of their problems. Whatever problems they're facing, it's because of their karma, and they need to work through their karma. That is why it's super important. When you're getting involved with people, you've got to know who they are, where they're coming from, what kind of subconscious programming they may have had, so that whenever their negative karma starts unfolding in your life, because you're with them, you're ready and willing to work through it in the highest light, so that it doesn't floor you, it doesn't frustrate you, it doesn't activate your stress hormones and cause you to live by your stress hormones. It keeps you aligned with who you truly are and pushes you to grow, to learn to learn what you need to learn from the situation and elevate, to expand in light, be a better version of yourself, right? So this thing with relationships, it's really funny. It's not just the person, it's their mindset and it's their karma. Because however they think, however they behave will affect you. It will have an impact on who you are. It will create power struggles in your relationship if they're not aligned with you, or it may not. It depends on who you are and what you're willing to do in your relationship, right? But just know to yourself, you can't save anyone. You have to keep fostering your growth, and if they want to foster their growth, they will. If they don't, then whatever conflicts you have coming up, you have to ask yourself if you want to be dealing with it, or if you want to be a better version of yourself by living a better life, right? So the choice is yours at the end of the day. And this thing with having kids and your biological clock is ticking and those kind of things, and having that kind of pressure from society, it's pretty interesting, because lots of persons want children, but you got to recognize who a child is. A child is your healer. A child is your teacher. And if you're not able to facilitate that in your life, then they're going to rock your brains and you wouldn't even know when it happened. They're going to frustrate you and cause you so much of worry that you wouldn't even know when it happened. But it will happen. So you got to really know who you are. If you really want children, you got to be able to recognize them in the highest light and the purpose they serve in you fulfilling your purpose, so that you can stay in alignment with your goals, you can stay in alignment with your vision, you can keep on attracting people and situations that are in alignment with who you really are, rather than the negative situations and the negative people that will keep on teaching you to be a better version of yourself, or to keep working through negative karma. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope this video was helpful for you, Jane. Just please get clear on you. Remember to, if you need coaching, feel free to reach out to me, because I'll be delighted to work with you. Currently, I'm working with people that are much older than I am, and I am so blessed to be walking that path with them. The other day, one of my good friends told me she loves how I'm blooming in my zone of, what is it that she said? In my zone of expertise, I believe it was. I gotta check it back, but yeah, she just loved how I'm blooming, and I thought that was, in my zone of genius. Yeah, she said she loved how I was blooming in my zone of genius, and that made me feel so warm that, you know what, I was looking for confirmation in some way that I am on the right path, and she was the perfect person to bring that out to me. So Sandra Pelly, thank you so much for that. And guys, you know, Sandra is really great at spiritual services. You can check her out. She did this really good book, A Spiritual How-To. So you can check that even on Amazon, because she is really good at what she does. She gave me some wonderful readings, and they have really helped me. And the other day, she just happened to be telling me about my zone of genius, and I said, wow, I love that. I love how I attracted that information into my life, okay? And I love how I keep on building relationships with those that are really aligned with my vision and the kind of life that I really want to be living and the person that I am. So that's why I will always advocate that you need to get clear on yourself, get clear on who you are, the life that you want to live. Start doing things to get in alignment, and you will be able to experience the results that you're looking for in your life if you do that. Okay, so guys, feel free once again to reach out to me by email, kamala09@yahoo.com. If you need any coaching, the website is still under construction. My website builders, I'm waiting on you guys, and I'm going to publicly announce it now. So yeah, my website is still under construction. You can reach me on Facebook Messenger, but just don't leave it as hi, how are you? Just let me know your story right there and then, so that I'll be able to respond to you, because it's a little difficult for me to just read a message that says hi, how are you, and I'm fine, thank you, or asking me where are you from, and those kind of things. Though that information is already available on my profile, so just do some research and let's get to the point in the chat so that I can be able to respond to you at the time that I'm dedicating to you. Okay, so that's it for now. Feel free to reach out to me by email. Remember, it's kamala09@yahoo.com. We are now planning the ending of 2019 to welcome 2020 with a bang. I'm not doing the 3 months coaching this time, but I actually have something to start planning 2020 with you guys. So you're going to hear about it pretty soon. But for now, feel free to make contact with me by email so that I can best support you. That's it for now. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Feel free to love, like, share, even comment below. I'd appreciate it. And remember to live in full enjoyment always, because that is life. Have a great day, guys. Take care. Bye.